first paragraph, page 492.
Okay.
492. Okay, and our last head word was find, new word type of lesson. Okay, so
Okay.
let's start with revision. Ready?
Yes, already.
Okay, here we go. First question. Here we go. What part of the book is this? What part of the book is this? It's the bottom
Is the bottom
or the
or the
base.
base of the book?
Book. Very good. What do you consider to be the basis of a good life? What do you consider to be the basis of a good life? I consider,
I think I
I
I,
consider
I consider health to
the
be
basis of a
the
good life.
basis of a good life.
Very good. Is it normal for language learners to continue making basic grammatical mistakes even though they know the rule? Is it normal for language learners to continue making basic grammatical mistakes even though they know the rules? Yes, it's
Yes,
normal
it's
for
normal
language
for
learners
language
to
learners
continue making
to continue
basic
making uh,
grammatical mistakes
basic uh, basic grammatical mistakes,
even though they know
even
the
though they
rules.
know the rules.
Very good. What do you think is basically the difference between your own language and English? What do you think is basically the difference between your own language and English? I think that
I think
basically
that
the
basically
difference between
the difference
my
between
own
my
language
own
and
language
English
and
is
English is pronunciation.
very good. When you stay at a hotel for one night, does the price you pay usually include breakfast? When you stay at a hotel for one night, does the price you pay usually include breakfast? Yes or no?
Yes,
When you
when
stay
you
at
stay
a
at a
hotel for one
hotel
night,
for one
the
night,
price you
the
pay
price you
usually
pay
includes
usually
breakfast.
includes breakfast.
Very good. What do we use to clean our shoes with? What do we use to clean our shoes with? We use a
We
shoe
use
brush
a
to
shoe
clean
brush
our
to
shoes
clean
with.
our shoes with.
Very good. What other kinds of brushes are there? What other kinds of brushes are there? There are hair
There are
brushes,
hair brushes,
toothbrushes,
toothbrushes,
paint brushes,
paint brushes,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Do you like to watch boxing? Do you like to watch boxing? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
like to watch.
like to watch boxing
Why not? Why not? Because
because boxing is dangerous.
very good. What type of film do you watch most? What type of film do you watch most? I watch
I watch comedy films
the
most.
most. Can you type? Can you type? Yes or no?
Yes, I can type
How many words a minute? How many words a minute? About?
about 10 words a minute.
Very good. Okay. Have you met me on many previous occasions? Have you met me on many previous occasions? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't met you
I haven't
on
met you
many previous
on
occasions.
many previous occasions.
Very good. Did you have any previous experience of the Callan method before you came here? Do you have any previous experience of the Callan method before you came here? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't have
I didn't
any
have
previous
many
experience
previous
of
experience
the
of
Callan method
the Callan method
before I came
before
here.
I came here.
Why do people often make videos of special occasions like weddings? Why do people often make videos of special occasions like weddings? People often make
People often make
videos of
videos
special
of
occasions
special
like
occasions
weddings
like a
so
wedding
that
so
they
that
can
they
remember
can
them better.
remember them better.
Very good. What do we mean by a street plan of a town? What do we mean by a street plan of a town? By a street
By a
plan
street
of a
of
town.
by a
By,
street town
by a
of a
street, one
plan.
more, by a street plan
By a street plan
of a
of a
town,
town,
we mean a map
we mean a
showing the
map
streets of the
showing the
town
street of a
and their
town
names.
and their names.
Names. Very good. Do you usually write your plans in a diary? Do you usually write your plans in a diary? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
usually write my
usually write
plans
my plan
in
in
a
a diary.
very good. Do you think it's a good idea for teenagers to plan their futures while still at school? Do you think it's a good idea for teenagers to plan their future while still at school? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think
I
it's a
think
good
it's
idea
a good
for
idea
teenagers to plan
for it's a
teenagers
good idea for
to
teenager
plan their futures
plan their futures.
while still at school.
We are still at school.
Very good. One more. Whilst.
Wireless,
Very good. One more.
wireless.
Yes, I think
Yes,
it's
I
a
think
good idea
it's a good
for
idea for
teenagers to
teenagers
plan their
to
futures
plan their futures
whilst still at school.
while still at school.
Very good. Why? Why do you think so? Because?
Because having plans motivate them.
Very good. Do you think a young person should be allowed to plan their own future without the interference of their parents? Do you think a young person should be allowed to plan their own future without the interference of their parents? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think a
I
young
think a
person
young
should be
person
allowed to
should be
plan
allowed
their
to
own
plan
future
their own future
without the
without
interference
the
of
interference
their
of
parents.
their parents,
Why? Why do you think so? Because?
because they should decide their own life.
Very good. Okay, next. What are the two basic types of auxiliary verb in English? What are the two basic types of auxiliary verb in English? The two
The
basic
two
types
basic
of
types
auxiliary
of
verbs
auxiliary
in
verbs
English
are
are
in English are
primary auxiliaries
primary auxiliaries
and modal
and
auxiliaries.
modal auxiliaries.
What are the primary auxiliaries? What are the primary auxiliaries? The primary
The
auxiliaries
primary
are the
auxiliary
verbs
are
be,
the verb be,
have, and
have,
do.
and do.
When do we use the auxiliary be? When do we use the auxiliary be? We use
We
the
use the
auxiliary be
auxiliary
to
be
make the
to
continuous
make
tenses
continuous
and
tenses
the passive voice.
and the passive voice.
Give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. I am
I
speaking
am speaking
English now.
English now.
The Callan book was
The current
printed
book
in
is
England.
printed in England.
Very good. When do we use the auxiliary have? When do we use the auxiliary have? We use
We
the
use
auxiliary
the
have
auxiliary
for
verb
the perfect tenses.
for the perfect tenses.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. He has gone to
He has
Scotland.
gone to Scotland.
Very good. When do we use the auxiliary do? When do we use the auxiliary do? We use
We
the
use
auxiliary
the
do for
auxiliary
the
do
present simple
for the present
and
simple
past simple.
and past simple.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I don't speak
I don't
Spanish.
speak Spanish.
Did she eat the
Did
pasta?
she eat the pasta?
Very good. What are the 10 common models? What are the 10 common models? The 10 common
The
models
10 common
are
models
can,
are
could,
can, could,
will, would,
will, would,
may, might,
may, might,
shall, should,
shall, should,
must, and ought.
must, and ought.
Very good. What ideas do models normally express? What ideas do models normally express? Models normally
Others
express
normally express
ideas about
ideas
necessity
about
or
necessity
possibility.
or possibility.
Very good. Okay, now I'll give you a sentence and you say a sentence with the same meaning but with a model. Okay, here we go. Number one,
Okay.
John is able to speak French. John is able to speak French. John
John
can speak
can speak French.
French. Perhaps he works in a bank. Perhaps he works in a bank. He might
He
work
might work.
in a
He might
bank.
work. He
In a
might
bank.
work in a bank.
Right? It is necessary for me to go to bed now. It is necessary for me to go to bed now. I must go
I
to
must
bed
go
now.
to bed now.
You are not allowed to smoke in this building. You are not allowed to smoke in this building. You can't
You
smoke
can't
in
smoke
this
in
building.
this building.
What do we put after a model? What do we put after a model? We put the
We put
infinitive
the
without to
infinitive
after
without
a model.
to after the modal.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I must send
I
this
must
email
send this
today.
email today.
Which model is the only exception to this rule? Which model is the only exception to this rule? Ought is the
Ought
only
is
exception
the only
to this rule.
expression on this rule.
One more. Ought is the only
Ought is the
exception
only exception
to this rule.
to these rules.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I ought to
I
see
ought to
a
see
doctor.
a doctor.
Very good. What does the word set mean in Japanese? What does the word set mean in Japanese? The word set
The,
means,
the word set means 設置する in Japanese.
very good. How long is the time set for a game of football? How long is the time set for a game of football? The time set
The time
for a
set
game of
for
football
a game of
is 90
football
minutes.
is 90
That
minutes.
is
That
45
is
minutes each
45
way.
minutes each way.
What kind of life do you think is better? A life where you have a set time for doing everything, such as eating, sleeping, etc., or a life where you do these things whenever you want? What kind of life do you think is better? A life where you have a set time for doing everything, such as eating, sleeping, etc., or a life where you do these things whenever you want? I think a life where
I think a
you
life where you do these
do those
things
things
do those things
whenever you want
whenever you
is
want
better than a life
is better than a
where
life
you have a set
where
time
you have a
for
set
doing
time
everything,
for doing
such
everything,
as eating,
such as
sleeping,
eating,
etc.
sleeping, etc.
Very good. What did I set down on the table when I came into the room at the beginning of the lesson? What did I set down on the table when I came into the room at the beginning of the lesson? You set your book
You set
down
that you set your book
on
down
the
on the
table when
table
you came
when
into
you
the
came
room
into the room
at the
at
beginning
the beginning
of
of
the.
the lesson.
If your watch isn't showing the right time, what do you have to do? If your watch isn't showing the right time, what do you have to do? If my
If
watch
my
isn't
watch
showing the
isn't
right
showing
time,
right
I have
time,
to set it
I
right.
have to set it right.
Very good. What time is sunrise at the moment? What time is sunrise at the moment? Sunrise is at
Sunlight
about
is at about 5 a.m.
at
at
the
the
moment.
moment.
Oh, very early. What time is sunset? What time is sunset? Sunset is at
Sunset is
about.
at about 7 p.m.
Very good. Okay, next. What do you consider to be the duty a person owes to the society in which they live? What do you consider to be the duty a person owes to the society in which they live? I consider
I
that the
consider
duty
that the
a person
duty
owes
a
to the
person owns
society in
to the
which they live
society in which
is
they
to be
live
honest,
is to be honest,
hardworking, etc.
hardworking, etc.
What are the duties of a policeman? What are the duties of a policeman? The duties of a
The duties
policeman
of a
are to
policeman
give people
are
help
to give
and
people help
information,
and
catch
information
criminals,
and
etc.
criminals, etc.
One more, catch criminals, etc.
Catch criminals, etc.
Very good. Do policemen wear their uniforms when they're off duty? Do policemen wear their uniforms when they're off duty? No.
No,
Policemen don't wear
policemen
their
don't wear
uniforms
their
when
uniforms
they're off
when
duty.
they are off
They
duty.
only wear them
They only wear
when
them
they're on duty.
on their own
Well,
duty.
they only wear them.
Only their way.
One more. One more from the start. No, policemen
No,
don't
policemen
wear their
don't wear
uniforms
their
when
uniforms
they're off duty.
when they are off
They
duty.
only wear
They
them
only wear them
when they're on
when
duty.
they are on duties.
Very good. If you brought a foreign car into your country, would you have to pay duty on it? If you bought a foreign car into your country, would you have to pay duty on it? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I brought
if
a
I bought
foreign car
a
into my
foreign car
country,
into my
I'd have to
country,
pay
I'd
duty on
have
it.
to pay duty on it.
If you didn't pay, what did happen? If you didn't pay, what did happen? If I didn't pay,
If I
they
didn't
might
pay,
make me
they
pay a
might
fine,
make me pay off mine,
pay a fine,
pay a fine.
and even take the
In
car
even
away from me.
they take
The
car
car away
from
from
me.
me. Very good. One more.
Uh,
If I didn't pay,
if I didn't
they
pay,
might make me
they might
pay a
make
fine
me pay a fine.
and even take
And
the
even
car away
they
from me.
took a car away from me.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Very good. Very fast. Let's have new work.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start new work. Okay, repeat. Various.
Various.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word various is an adjective. It means different. For example, there are different ways of learning a language. Or we can say there are various ways of learning a language. Let's practice. What are the various ways of learning a language? What are the various ways of learning a language? The various ways
There are
of
various
learning
ways
a
of
language
learning a
are at
language.
school
At
with a
school
teacher,
with a teacher,
going to the country
going to the
where the
country
language is spoken,
where the language is spoken,
practicing with a friend,
practicing with friends,
listening to the radio,
listening to
watching
radio,
TV,
watching TV,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Next, repeat. Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Very good. Entertainment is a noun. It means things such as films, television, performance, etc., that are intended to amuse or interest people, to entertain people. For example, there's a lot of entertainment for teenagers in my hometown, like cinemas, theaters, games, etc. Let's practice. Is there much entertainment for teenagers in your hometown? Is there much entertainment for teenagers in your hometown? Yes or no?
No,
There isn't
there
much
isn't
entertainment
much
for
entertainment
teenagers in my
for
hometown.
teenagers in my hometown.
Very good. Next, repeat. Wait.
Weight.
Equal.
Equal.
Very good. Okay, listen, weight is a noun. It is how heavy something is when you measure it. For example, the average weight of a baby at birth is just over 7 pounds. Equal is an adjective. It means the same in size, the same in number, the same in amount, value, weight, etc. For example, this book is as heavy as this book. Okay, or we can say the weight of these two books is about equal. Okay, let's practice. Is the weight of these two books about equal? Is the weight of these two books about equal? Yes, the
Yes,
weight of those
the
two
weight
books
of those books
is about equal.
is about equal.
Very good. Next repeat. Operate.
Operate.
Operation.
Operation.
Very good. Okay, listen. Operate is a verb. It means to control a machine or equipment. For example, a driver controls the car, or we can say the driver operates the car. Operation is a noun. It is a medical process in which doctors cut a body open in order to repair, remove, or replace an unhealthy or damaged part in the body. For example, I've never had an operation in hospital. Let's practice. Would you find it interesting to operate a factory machine? Would you find it interesting to operate a factory machine? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't find it
I wouldn't find
interesting
it
to operate
interesting.
a factory
You're
machine.
operating in a factory machine.
Wait, one more. No, I wouldn't find
No,
it
I wouldn't try it
interesting to
interesting
operate a factory
to
machine.
operate a factory machine
Why not? Why not? Because
because it's boring.
very good. Okay. Have you ever had an operation in hospital? Have you ever had an operation in hospital? Yes or no?
No,
I've never had an
I've never had
operation in
an
hospital.
operation in a hospital.
Very good. Next repeat. By.
By
By the time.
by the time.
Very good. Okay, listen. When we are speaking about time, the word by can mean at the same point before, or at some point before, or not later than. For example, I will be home by midnight. It means that I will arrive home at some point before midnight, or possibly at midnight, but certainly not after or later than midnight. By the time, when we say by the time, it means at the time or when. Okay, let's practice. Give me a sentence containing the words by the time. Give me a sentence containing a word by the time, please. By the time he
By the
gets
time.
here, one more.
Experience.
By the time
By the
she
time
gets here,
she gets scared.
she gets here,
She gets here.
dinner will be ready.
Dinner will be ready.
Very good. What does by the time mean in that sentence? What does by the time mean in that sentence? By the time
By
in
the
that
time
sentence
in
means
that sentence
at some
means
point between
at some
now
point between now
and when she gets here.
and she get here.
And when she gets here.
And when she get here.
Very good. By the time you are 90 years old, do you suppose your hair will be gray? By the time you are 90 years old, do you suppose your hair will be gray? Yes. By the
Yes,
time I'm
by the
90
time
years old,
I'm 90 years
I
old,
suppose my hair
I suppose my
will be
hair
gray.
will be gray.
Very good. Will your English have improved by this time next month? Will your English have improved by this time next month? Yes. My
Yes,
English will
my
have
English
improved
will
by this.
happen in,
One more.
by this.
Yes. My
Yes,
English
my English
will have improved
will have improved
by this time next month.
by this time next month
Very good. Next repeat as well as.
as well
As well as.
as well as.
Very good. Okay. As well as means in addition or also. So as well as, in addition, also. For example, I can speak Filipino and also English. Or we can say I can speak Filipino as well as English. As well as is also used to compare. For example, I can speak English as well as I speak Filipino. I speak it worse than Filipino. Let's practice. Can you speak English as well as you speak your own language? Can you speak English as well as you speak your own language? No, I can
No,
speak
I can
English
speak
as well
English as
as
well
I
as
speak my
my
own
I
language.
speak my own
I
language.
speak my own
I
language.
speak my own
I
language.
speak it worse
I speak it
than
worse
my own language.
than my own language.
Where do you take English lesson on Sunday as well as during the week? Do you take English lessons on Sunday as well as during the week? Yes or no?
Yes,
I take English
I
lessons
take English
on
lessons
Sunday as well
on
as
Sunday
during the
as
week.
well as during the week.
Very good. What does the last question mean in other words? What does that last question mean in other words? That last question
That
means
lesson question
you
means
take English
you
lessons
take English
during the
lessons
week,
during the
but
week,
do you also take
but do you also take
English lessons on Sunday?
English lessons on Sunday?
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to your reading.
Okay,
Very good. Okay, so our reading is at stage 5, paragraph page 411. Last head word was adverbs formed from adjectives. Okay, start with the head word flew.
flew. What's the past of fly? The past of fly is flew. If you flew round the world in a straight line, would you finish in the same place as you had started? Yes, I flew. Yes, I flew. Uh, yes, I flew round the world in a straight line. I'd finish in the same place as I had started.
Mhm.
If a bird flew into this room, what do you do? If a bird flew into this room, I'd probably try to catch it.